Okay, so we're still looking at linear equations, but now we're looking at linear equations in point-slope form. We have the same formula we had last time for slope, but we have a new equation, point-slope form of a line. This is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Determine the equation of the line through the points. Well, if you watched the previous video, these problems should look familiar. We're just going to do them in a slightly different way. Just like last time, we still have to find the slope. So slope is 7 minus 4 over negative 2 minus 0. That's 3 over negative 2. That's negative 3 halves. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this formula. So this formula says take y minus one of the y numbers. It doesn't make a difference which one. Usually we use the first one. So I'll use 4. Equals m. M is negative 3 halves times x minus the x number, which is 0. And that's it. There's our answer. Now, I would say for this problem in particular, this was probably a bad choice. It was probably a better idea to use y equals mx plus b because we knew the b number. So I probably would have written this equation as y equals minus 3 halves x plus 4. Notice we really do have that same equation because this subtracting 0 doesn't do anything. So this is really just minus 3 halves x, and then we could add 4 to both sides. For problems B and C, my opinion is that this technique is better. So let's take a look at how that works. M equals negative 5 minus 5 divided by 4 minus negative 2. That's negative 10 over 6, which is negative 5/3. And then again, I'm just going to go ahead and use this formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So my answer is y minus 5 equals negative 5/3 times x minus negative 2. I'm going to go ahead and write that as x plus 2. And that's it. There's my answer. If you look back at the previous video and you see when we used y equals mx plus b, what we had to deal with was plugging points in and then doing some work to solve and get the b all by itself. So I like this method because I feel as though it saves me a little bit of work, especially when I don't know the y-intercept. Let's try it again. M equals 9 minus 4 divided by negative 1 minus 3. That's 5 over negative 4. That's, I would write it as negative 5/4. Plugging into this formula once again, I have y minus 4 equals negative 5/4 times x minus 3. Now, what I want to show you is that we really do have the same answer we got last time. We just have it written in a different form. What I could do here is I could distribute this minus 5/4 through, and I would have minus 5/4 x, and then minus and a minus is going to be a plus, and I think of 3 as 3 over 1, and I multiply tops, multiply bottoms. That's 15/4. And then we could add the 4 to both sides, and we get y equals minus 5/4 x plus, it should be 31/4. And if you go back and check, that's exactly the same answer we got last time. Alright, last one of these. M equals 4 minus 0 over 0 minus 6. That's 4 over negative 6. That's negative 2/3. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 gives y minus 0 I'm not going to bother writing that. I'm just going to leave it as y equals m, negative 2/3, times x minus 6. And you can leave your answer just in that form. All right, a word problem. And this looks almost like the same word problem we had last time. There's one slight change. The number of city and county ordinances that restrict outdoor smoking has increased from approximately linearly from 30 in 1999 to 1,532 in 2012. Well, envy the number of ordinances at T years since 1990. There's the one change. If you look at the previous video, that said 1999. So once again, we have T and N, and since time is involved, time is our X number. So we're starting in 1990 now, and we go to 1999, that would be 9 years later, and we had 30 ordinances. And then we're going to 2012. Let's see, 2012 minus 1990 is 22 years. 1532. We find our slope. M is 1532 minus 30 divided by 22 minus 9. 1532 minus 30 divided by, now I have more than one thing on bottom, so I put parentheses around that. And I get 115.5, and if you remember, that happens to be the exact same answer we got last time. Alright, so now instead of y minus y1, I'm going to use n minus n1, that's 30, equals m, my m is 115.5, times, instead of x I use t minus t1, that's 9. Alright, so there's my answer. Determine a linear equation. I did. What is the slope? The slope was 115.5. What does it mean? Well, it means exactly the same thing it did last time. It means that number of ordinances increases by about 115.5 per year. And again, if you look at how we found slope, it was ordinances divided by year. So that's why it's 115 ordinances per year. All right, now this is a little different. What does the n-intercept mean? And what is the n-intercept? Well, I don't know what the n-intercept is. I have to do a little bit of work. So I have to write this as n minus 30 equals 115.5t minus, multiply, 115.5 times 9 is 1,035. And then I would add 30 to both sides. So n equals 115.5 t minus 1,005. So what is the n-intercept? The n-intercept is 0, negative 1,005. What does it mean in this situation? So notice this is a difference. In our last problem, when we started at 1999, our n-intercept was 0, 30, and it had a meaning. In this case, it doesn't have a meaning. Because what this would say in year 0, the number of ordinances is negative 1,005. You can't have a negative number of ordinances. So we get an answer, but our answer doesn't make sense for the word problem, and we have a term for that. This is called model breakdown. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes you get an answer that simply doesn't make sense. Okay, we have one more problem for this section, but I'm going to start that in a new video. So, yeah, one more short problem to watch.